Well, hey there, and welcome to the Ignite Press book launch livecast. I've got to tell you, today's an unusual day. I never in my life thought that we would be publishing and launching a book about roofing shingles, but that is exactly what we're doing today. And this may sound crazy, but this is crazy like a fox. There is a method to this madness, and I'm excited to get into that with our author, Justin Graham. Before I do, I just want to share with you that if you have a book you want to get out to the world, even if it's about shingles, apparently, talk to us. We may see also the method in your madness and want to help you get that out to the world. But if you've written a book or you've been thinking about writing a book and you'd like to leverage that within your business or brand, enjoy the authority, the expert status that publishing a book and authoring a book gives, then reach out to us. And you can do that at ignitepress.us, at ignitepress.us. All right, well, so let's get into this. I've got here today Justin Graham, and Justin grew up in a Navy family and has developed this resilient, determined attitude that has really played out for him in so many things. And as a result, he has gone into the roofing business and has developed an expertise and specific knowledge about, of all things, discontinued roof shingles. And so today I want to bring on Justin, and we are going to talk about his book. Justin, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
This is a crazy day, right? Book launch day is not normal for anybody, let alone roofers.
Yeah, no, it's been an interesting journey, that's for sure.
So we've got your beautiful book here, The Quick Guide to Discontinued Shingles. And so first I want to just address one thing. We know you're live casting here from your office. And normally when we do these live casts, you know, the author has got the bookshelf behind and the nice little plant or the backdrop or whatever, not normally a forklift and a water bottle. And I'm sure people that are going to be walking back and forth. So where are you? And let's talk about why that's appropriate.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously I'm not your typical author in the first place, but I mean, I'm right here in the most authentic place that I could be, sitting right at my desk where I do my day-to-day work anyway. So I thought, what better place than right here? I know it may be unusual, and it certainly looks a little bit different, but I think it's for our purpose. It definitely it has some weight to it.
Absolutely. And I've just been kind of grinning from ear to ear, and I'm sure I will continue to throughout our live cast. So Justin, first, before we get into the book, tell us a bit about you, about, you know, like what you do and kind of what brought us to the point of the Quick Guide to Discontinued Shingles.
Yeah, so obviously my name's Justin. That's who I am. But I started off actually on the other side in insurance, and working through insurance and customer service. I quickly realized that there was a lot of gaps that were not filled, and obviously to no fault of anyone really, just because it's not really, when you're in that position, it's not really your job to be an expert on everything that could happen insurance wise, but it definitely does happen. And from there transitioned into the contractor side, and even more quickly realized that there's quite a separation between insurance companies and contractors, and especially reputable contractors in the roofing industry as a whole. So it made me realize that there was a market for it, and that through honesty and integrity and taking pride in what you do, that there was a major gap that could be filled there. So that's kind of what brought us here and why we're here today.
All right. Now, when we first talked about your project, you had explained that you'd been collecting the information that's included in this book for quite a while. and for a distinct purpose. Do you want to share with us kind of the really the impetus behind the book?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's definitely true. So it was a few years worth of collecting information to get to this point, and it all started whenever I first got on this side of things of me not knowing the products that we sold and everything else, and that kind of starting off in sales definitely gave me a bit of insecurity and lack of confidence on my end when selling. And so I really just kind of dove deep into learning the products and learning what they are and everything like that, so that I was more confident in my sales. And in doing so, the more salesmen that I worked around and the more people in the company that I worked around, um, realized that that was kind of a gap that everyone had. They just all didn't have those same insecurities that I had. So I just kind of slowly, as I noticed things being discontinued and I noticed what could happen with the discontinued products and the amount of jobs that that could bring, started to collect that information. And the never planned on writing a book ever. I was only collecting it for our own good and just to help the people that I work with. And from there, I had a really good mentor and boss that kind of pushed me to make it into a book because he said it would be really useful to everyone else. So that's kind of how the book was born. But yeah, it was probably about 3 years of collecting information and data on everything so that we could get to this point. And so it's definitely been a long, interesting road.
Now, in the book, you've taken great pains actually to include color pictures of all of these different types of roof tiles, and pointing out which ones are discontinued, kind of how to identify them, also what the warranties are associated with the different products. I mean, you've really created a very useful guide. Tell us why the discontinued part of it is so important.
So there are a lot of states in the US that have what's called match laws in terms of insurance policies. And so when a product is discontinued, a lot of times that means there isn't another product that's going to match it and provide that reasonable appearance. So um, basically, what that means is, in states like ours, Kentucky, we have a match law. So if the product is discontinued and we can't repair it and provide a reasonable match, then that means the insurance company has to provide a reasonable appearance to the entire structure, which the only way to do that is with an existing shingle, which means to replace the whole thing. Now, that's obviously not an unknown fact. That's a very known thing in the industry that a lot of people push for. And that's kind of what separates us from other people is we're not just going out seeking those, but we definitely are knowing when we come across them and we know the rules and regulations and how they play out. And so for people in these states, it's useful for everyone across the nation, but especially for people in match law states, because a lot of people are going out seeking these products, or if they're not seeking them, they're running across them and not knowing what they are and how to go about getting these things done. Um, so I think everyone in match states kind of knows, but it's also useful to people that aren't in match states because they need to know, that they can't get the material that they're trying to find, or maybe they don't know that they're trying to find a discontinued product, but they need to know that part of my expertise is providing or knowing the closest match. Now, the closest match isn't always very close, but you still want to get as close as possible when making repairs. You don't want to destroy the look of someone's house. So that's really important to us.
Now Elizabeth asked this question. She said, of the discontinued products you've researched, which lookalikes are most difficult to distinguish? And I was wondering, are the lookalikes, is that a problem, or are lookalikes just fine?
So that is a great question, and there are a lot that look very similar. I don't know. I mean, if you're talking about specifics, there are uh, products out there that, like a manufacturer could discontinue a product and then introduce a new one that is extremely close, but it does have differences. GAF and Elk is actually one of the most popular ones to do that. Elk was a manufacturer that got bought out by GAF, and they kind of really played off of each other and how they made their shingles and how they made them look. So those are definitely some of the most common lookalikes that we come across, because they are very, very similar, especially since one company bought out the other. So there, and that's probably one of the most useful things about the book, is distinguishing those from the ones that exist, because there are a lot of shingles out there on the market right now that look like GAF shingles, but they're actually Elk, which are discontinued. And so it's really important to kind of know those two and know how to distinguish between the two.
Yeah, it would seem like that would make a big difference. What about when something looks similar, but the construction's a little bit different, or the warranties are different, or something else about the product is different, but they look like totally acceptable to put on the roof to patch? Like, how's that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually just ran into this. I've been going back and forth with State Farm on one recently that was an old Elk, like I said, and they wanted us to repair it with a GAF that they said was really close, which the GAF that they recommended to us, it was actually really close, just not spot on. The difference between them was the shingle that was on the roof was a 50-year shingle, and the shingle that they wanted us to repair it with was not a 50-year shingle. And in roofing, the warranties used to kind of go by, they used to classify them as 30, 40, 50-year shingles. As you go up in rank, the shingle gets thicker, it gets heavier, it's more heavy duty, and that's why the warranty is higher. They've kind of gone away with that, but in this situation, they wanted us to repair it with something that was thinner. And so kind of what happens with insurance companies in that situation is, if there's a 50-year shingle on the roof, then they owe for the same quality of product. They can't have us put a lesser quality on. And so that's kind of where that comes into play, is maybe the look was similar in that case, except for they were asking us to use a lesser quality product, which is also kind of going against guidelines. So that's why it's also extremely important to know the warranties as well, because you could have some that look similar, but you definitely don't want to, one, ruin the warranty of the roof for a homeowner by replacing it with a product that isn't isn't up to par with manufacturer specifications. And you want to make sure that you're repairing shingles with the same grade of shingle.
So it kind of brings up this thought in my mind, and I get this. It's like, let's say you've got a 50-year shingle, you're 20 years into that 50 years when a bunch of them blow off the roof, and so now you're replacing. And I could see the insurance carrier saying, hey, I'm fine with the 30-year shingle, it'll match the rest of the years, right? Or whatever, like things really work out that way. But then it's likely, I see what you're saying, it's likely to be thinner, or a less durable construction or something. But you're saying is really that they have to do is put another 50-year or lifetime warranty shingle on. Is that the way that works?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why, I mean, I really learned that, the saying, the devil is in the details. That is more true in this industry than I ever would have thought, because knowing minute details of the process and the product knowledge, it has been, I mean, leaps and bounds, just helping us tremendously. Because like I said, there are a lot of people that may not even know that that's the case, and they may not know the product very well. So, and not to anyone's fault, but say they do go repair it with a 30-year shingle, well, then that on a 50-year, well, then that has now maybe ruined the appearance of the home, maybe voided a warranty, something like that. So knowing the minute details of the product specifically and things like that really is tremendous knowledge that is useful to roofing contractors everywhere.
So here's the deal. We know you didn't write this book for us, the consumer, right? You wrote this for other roofers, and then, but tell everybody who's buying this book, and tell people why those people are buying this book.
Yeah. So originally, when going through this process, I honestly thought that the the biggest people that would benefit from this would be roofing contractors. One, because like I said, we know that there are companies that are seeking out these discontinued products. And if you're not seeking them out, then still just knowing which products are discontinued is extremely important. And so I really thought that roofing contractors were going to be by and far the largest group of people that this book would be useful to. But so far, as we've already discussed, I mean, I've had more insurance adjusters buy the book than roofing contractors. So it's also been extremely helpful to adjusters as well, because obviously adjusters know their guidelines and they know when things are discontinued, kind of the route that they need to take from there as well. So it's also helping them a lot more than I ever even imagined. Like I said, I almost didn't even think that adjusters would ever even be interested in it, but it's been extremely popular amongst adjusters so far. So that's pretty exciting too.
Yeah, and the book's just been out a very short time, and you're already getting some really great feedback from your audience on this.
Yeah, absolutely. People have, there's been a few reviews already, and they're all 5 stars, and it's across multiple Facebook pages that are, roofing related, and it's in a bunch of adjusters' physical hands, but also in the adjuster Facebook groups as well. And we've actually got one guy that is the vice president of the board for a national catastrophe adjusters who's taking it to a convention in Vegas with them to kind of spread the word there too. So it's huge news that it's getting such big recognition to the adjusters as well. And I think once roofing contractors realize that adjusters are also using it, it's going to kind of bump up the recognition and across roofing contractors as well.
So I wanted to share this comment because it's terrific. Gray Sherrington says, "This is great information. I come from a 3-generation home improvement family business, and this book is just what the roofing doc ordered. Congrats on the book launch, Justin." That's fantastic, and thank you, Grace.
Yeah, we'd love to hear that.
Man, now go ahead. Speak to the roofers. Speak to the roofers. Tell roofers what is so like. Walk us through the book and why and why it's useful for them. Speak to the features of this.
So to roofers, I can't explain how useful of a tool this is because one, I've gone through great lengths to get detailed photos of all these individual shingles myself, and with the help of colleagues who are also getting a ton of photos. And so the photos really help to show, and a lot of the photos that we're getting are photos of these roofs that are 12, 15, 20 years old, and how you're going to come across them on the roof when you are inspecting a roof yourself, which is really important. I didn't want to just get pictures of new shingles because they do look a lot different as time goes on. And with that, I kind of give my 2 cents on how I personally identify these shingles when I'm looking at them, how when someone brings me a picture and shows me and asks me what a shingle is, how I can kind of use deductive reasoning in the things that I'm seeing and be able to identify them without having to actually take them off the roof and go through all that. Another really useful tool is like it having all the specific dimensions in there, having the warranty information in there, and then kind of one thing that you were just showing, part of was I have a whole timeline of certainty in there. That is extremely useful too because you can easily show adjusters the specific year when a shingle was discontinued and have that as kind of proof. Just a little disclaimer, I am working on getting that for all of the manufacturers that are in the book, because that really is probably going to be the second most useful tool. I mean, the first obviously is being able to identify them, being able to prove, hey, this is what this shingle is. And then the second is being able to prove, hey, this is when it was discontinued. So across the board, there's so much important information in there, and I can't even tell you how useful it's been to not only me but all of my colleagues that I work with as well, and just how it helps get claims approved and all of the things that we're able to pull off day to day.
And so let me go ahead and remind people that the book is available right now on Amazon. Now, actually, this is a pretty special day because this book retails for $50, the paperback, and it's worth every bit of that to anybody who knows this industry. But right now, you can get the Kindle version for $1.99. So I would encourage you to head over to Amazon and pick up the Kindle version for $1.99. And this would be an incredibly good resource for you as a roofer or an adjuster to have on your phone or Kindle device or on your iPad, where the images are full color. You can, reference it there. And then that special is going away. Quite frankly, that will be going away here shortly. So, all right. Well, Justin, is there any part of this book or any feature about this book that is your absolute favorite, or something that people might find surprising that they find in there? I mean, we've already covered a lot of really great benefits for the book.
Yeah, I'm not sure as far as surprising. I'm not sure if there's anything that's going to be too surprising to people other than maybe just the amount of information that there is, or the fact that there's now a book itself. But I mean, everything in there, like if you were to think, hey, what would be a great tool to have to do this? I think it includes everything that you need. But as far as my favorite part, I would say it has to be just the photos of everything that we have in there, and all credit goes to you guys, because I know it was way outside of the boundaries of what you normally do, and it was a lot harder to kind of put together, and probably a lot more work went into it than just a novel or something like that. But I mean, you guys did an incredible job. I love the layout. The layout of it has gotten so many great reviews, and people have been talking about how easy it is to find the information and to see it all. So I think my favorite part would probably just be the layout and the photos themselves, just because it was super important to me to get realistic photos so that it's more so relatable to people when they're actually looking at a roof and looking at the book to kind of tell. So that would probably be my favorite part. And again, I can't thank you guys enough for the amount of effort that you've put into it to make it as good as it is.
Hey, honestly, it's been a blast. I mean, first, you've been great to work with, and it's been fun. It's like we never get the opportunity to color code the edges of the book in order to make brands easily found and that type of thing. So it's really been a blast for us. Well, Justin, thank you so much. Congratulations again on your book. It's exciting to see it on Amazon. It's also exciting to see the rankings move on Amazon, and we'll see how the rest of this launch day works out. Really excited about it. But Justin, again, so glad you had the genius to do this, because like I said, it seems crazy that there's a book on discontinued shingles, but you're so smart to bring this to market.
Well, I appreciate it. And again, I appreciate your all's hard work. I'm glad that you were able to have a little bit of fun with it. And I know it was challenging, especially on the Kindle version side. So I appreciate you guys and all your hard work.
No doubt. And I'm going to say my hats off to Malia for her patience on carrying us through. That's my publishing director, carrying us through many, many revisions on the Kindle to make sure it worked out. Oh, also another comment here from Elizabeth saying congratulations. All right, well, so let's do this. I'm going to make sure people understand that book is available one more time. They can pick it up on Amazon for $1.99 on the Kindle. The paperback is also available for $49.95. And I encourage you to get your copy today. And then I recommend, if I can be a resource for you at all with your book, then please reach out to us here at Ignite Press. If you'd like to sit down and have a consultation about your book, you can schedule that at our website at ignitepress.us. Thank you so much for joining us on our live cast today. Take care and God bless.